Hey, hi students. How are you all? Today we are back to see the part of one of the most important revolution of India, that is revolution of 1857. As I told you earlier that some people called it as a revolt, some people call it was just a mutiny of some sepoys, and some people say that it was the freedom fight. But for Indians, of course, it was a freedom fight. So many times I tell you that revolution is never outbreak of one day. It is conglomeration, or it is the accumulation of fury in the minds of the people, and when it goes to its apex, then it just explodes. So, as I told you, there were few reasons behind this revolution. What were the reasons? Annexation. Okay, so last time we talked about it. Annexation of Awadh. Okay, then subsidiary alliance, then doctrine of lapse, then they were trying to end up the Mughal dynasty. Then there was unrest among the peasants and sepoys also. What were the reasons of their unrest? That also we have seen. And in soldier, means in army, you can see, means there at that time there was a system by which Indians and especially Hindus religiously they were just banned to cross the ocean. The reason behind it was, if they go, then their religion, it can be spoiled, they can be converted, and that's why their religion can be spoiled. So with such a fear, Indians, they never wanted to cross the ocean. So when there was a fight in Burma and Britishers asked Indian soldiers to go there, they refused it. That's why in 1856 Britishers articulated new law in which they said that it is mandatory for all the army members, or we can say the soldiers, those who are going to enroll their names in army, those who are going to get recruited, they have to sign on the contract that wherever they are asked to go, they have to go. So in this way, many reasons were there behind this uh, revolution. Okay, so when the people and the soldiers and the peasants, they were asking for this, what was the responses to reforms? The British took several steps to reform the society. New laws were passed against the practice of sati. I hope you must know what is sati. Okay, but still let me tell you what the sati pratha is. Okay, so at that time, means in 19th century, or from till 19th century we can say, till Raja Ram Mohan Roy, there was a custom in our India, there was a tradition in which if husband dies, then the lady or his wife, she also has to follow him in his funeral. In that burning fire, she also has to jump. Sometimes the reason behind it was very beautiful actually, because there was a bond, a strong bond between wife and husband. Okay, तो अगर हम इसमें देखेंगे तो आपको एक बात समझ में आएगी, इसके पीछे रीजन बहुत अच्छा था। बाद में वो स्पॉइल किया गया, उसे गलत तरीके से इंटरप्रिट किया गया, दैट इज डिफरेंट थिंग। लेकिन इसके पीछे मीनिंग ऐसा था कि अगर पति चला जाता है तो पत्नी को भी इस संसार में कोई रस नहीं रहता है, तो उसे भी लगता है कि मैं दुनिया छोड़ के चली जाऊं। ओके, तो वो जी नहीं पाती थी, तो इसलिए वो विलिंगली, वो खुद के खुशी से उस चिता में जाती थी। ओके, लेकिन बाद में इसको प्रथा बना दिया गया, कस्टम बना दिया गया, और जो औरतें जाना नहीं चाहती है उनको भी जबरदस्ती उसमें ढकेला जाता था, पहली बात, या फिर सोशली अगर वो नहीं गई तो सोशली उसे टॉर्चर किया जाता था। ऐसी ये सिस्टम थी सती प्रथा। तो राजा राममोहन रॉय ने जब बंगाल में ये देखा कि एक औरत को जबरदस्ती उसे शराब पिला के, ताकि जब उसको आग में डालेंगे तो वो बाहर ना कूदे, ओके, इसलिए उसको शराब पिलाई जा रही है, जबरदस्ती उसको अंदर ढकेला जा रहा है, और जोर जोर से वहां पे ढोल बजाए जा रहे हैं, ताकि जब वो चिल्लाए, जब उसको दर्द होगा और जब वो चिल्लाएगी तब उसका आवाज बाहर ना निकले ज्यादा से ज्यादा, इसलिए वहां पे जोर जोर से बजाया जा रहा है। तो ये इनसैनिटी, ये पागलपन देख के राजा राम मोहन रॉय बहुत हर्ट हुए और उन्होंने इसको आगे जाके बंद किया। ओके, तो ये थी सती प्रथा। तो उसको रोकने के लिए ब्रिटिशों ने भी राजा राम मोहन रॉय को मदद की थी। अ लॉ वाज आल्सो पास टू एनकरेज विडो मैरिज। दूसरा एक सिस्टम था उस जमाने में जिसमें एक बार औरत का पति मर गया तो वो दोबारा शादी नहीं कर सकती। शी हैज टू स्पेल शी हैज टू स्पेंड ऑल हर लाइफ एज अ विडो। She can't marry any other person. Okay, and means the worst thing is she should not look beautiful after her husband's death, and nobody should get attracted towards her. That's why her her hairs, okay, her hairs on the head, they were used to cut down. ओके, बाल निकाल दिए जाते थे, इसको कहा जाता था केशवापन। ओके, तो आगे जाने के बाद हमारे कुछ सोशल वर्कर्स ने, सोशलिस्ट लोगों ने इसको बंद किया और विडो रीमैरिज, मतलब जो विधवाएं हैं वो भी दूसरी शादी कर सकती है, ऐसा नया लॉ बनाया। बट स्ट्रेंज थिंग, यू विल बी शॉक टू लिसन दिस अगेन। इंसान अगर विधुर हो जाता है, मतलब उसकी पत्नी अगर गुजर जाती है तो वो दूसरी शादी कर सकता है, लेकिन औरत का पति गुजर जाता है तो वो नहीं कर सकते। So that was a strange thing. Chalo, fine. So that was widow remarriage. The company official promoted the English language. तीसरी बात, after 1830, Christian missionaries were allowed to function freely and they could even own land and property. They were allowed, means missionaries, they can go anywhere. They can, means state will fund them for the conversion, we can say, or for the missionary work, or for the propagation of their religion, okay, Christianity. So after 1830, Christian missionaries were allowed to function freely and they could even own land and property in our India. In 1850, a new law allowed an Indian who had converted to Christianity to inherit property of his ancestor. Then that was the fifth law, okay, in which they say that Indian who had converted to Christianity to inherit property of his ancestors, means if the son wants to take the property of his father, then he has to get converted into Christianity. Only then he can inherit his father's property. So of course this law made very easier for the Christianity to convert the people. A feeling was developing among most of the Indians that the British were trying to destroy their religion. Of course it was. Social customs and traditional way of life. However, there were some others who wanted to get rid of many of the social evils. So till here we have seen how the revolution is taking shape. Okay, means what were the reasons behind the revolution of 1857, that we have seen. There were social reasons behind it, political, economical, military reasons. Okay, so all these reasons were there. Now we'll talk about the actual revolution, mutiny to popular rebellion. Earlier, Britishers were thinking, and many British officers say so, that it was just a mutiny of soldiers, but actually it was not. Of course, it began from Mangal Pandey. Okay, it was a mutiny of soldiers, of course, but afterwards it spread and it became rebellion. It became a revolution. The rebellion of May 1857 threatened the company's very presence in India. The mutiny, which started from the cantonment in Meerut, engulfed a large part of northern and central India. People from different sections of society rose up in rebellion, and many historians regard it as the biggest armed resistance to colonialism in the 19th century anywhere in the world. If you see the history of the world, you will come to know. Many times it is used to be said, means today also people say, historians say that the sun never sets on the empire of British. Okay, it was such a big empire that if at one place the sun sets down, then at one place it will rise up. Means maximum part of our world, it was occupied by the Britishers. So in 19th century, wherever Britishers had their colonies, nowhere such a big revolution took place, except India. So from Meerut to Delhi. So as you know, the revolution began in Meerut from Mangal Pandey. So here you can see the British soldiers, then how they are killing Indians, and this was the biggest revolution, first thing, and second, it was armed rebellion as it began from the soldiers. Then let's talk about Mangal Pandey. If you want to get more details about Mangal Pandey, there is one movie of Amir Khan. You can see it, Mangal Pandey. Okay. So execution of Mangal Pandey. Mangal Pandey was a young soldier at the cantonment in Barakpur. Okay. Barakpur. He was the culprit of attacking his officers. He had attacked his officers because their religious feeling was being spoiled. I told you in my last lecture that the skin of pig and the cows in military, then they have to go anywhere, means they have to cross the ocean. So there were many reasons and many, then the unrest about the payment, then service facility, allowance, all these things were there. So he attacked his officers and he was culprit. So in this charge on 29th March 1857, he was hanged to death for his crime. 29 March 1857. Within a few days, some sepoys of the regiment at Meerut refused to use the new cartridges during an army drill. What was the reason behind it? Why they were not using new cartridges? Because it was rumored that the new cartridges were coated with the fat of cows and pigs. For their refusal to obey the orders, 85 sepoys were dismissed from service. They were sentenced to 10 years jail. This incident happened on 9th May 1857. See, means how the events consecutively they are taking place. Subsequently they are taking place. Okay. So on 29th March, Mangal Pandey was hanged. On 9th May 1857, 85 soldiers they were sent to the prison for 10 years. Then the other soldiers in Meerut responded in extraordinary way. On 10th May, the soldiers marched to the jail and released the imprisoned sepoys. Sepoy, I hope you know this. There can be a question in your mind, why sepoy is there? Actually, the British accent could not permit them to say sipahi as the word in Hindi. Sipahi, they can't say so. So they used to call it sepoy. Where is sepoy? So this word is there. So they attacked and killed British officers. They captured guns and ammunition. They set fire to the buildings and properties of the British and they declared a war on the Firangis. So in this way, from Meerut, the war began. And now it is going to move, it is going to turn towards Delhi. Appointment of the new leader. So see, when this revolution is going on, there should be a leader who will lead all over the country and whom the people also will consider as their leader, because in Meerut it was just a mutiny of some soldiers. If you want to make it big, then you must find a leader whom people will consider, all people will come together and they will consider him as a leader. So all these people, all these soldiers, they just moved towards Delhi. And appointment, actually there is a spelling mistake, I know, please just correct it for me. Yes. So appointment of the new leader. After creating mayhem in Meerut, the soldiers rode throughout the night of 10th May and reached Delhi the next morning. Full night they were just in their journey. And finally, next morning on 11th May, they reached to Delhi. And when the regiments in Delhi heard the news, they also rose up in rebellion. The soldiers gathered around the Red Fort and demanded meet Bahadur Shah Zafar. Bahadur Shah Zafar, do you remember who is this? Yes, he is the antecedent. Sorry. He is the Oh my God, he is descendant of Mughal dynasty. Okay, so the emperor was hesitant to challenge the might of the British, but the soldiers persisted in their demand. Actually, Bahadur Shah was not ready for this revolt. He was afraid because he knew what is the power of Britishers. So he was just hesitating. But as these many people are looking at him as their leader, so finally he had to accept that and he just jumped into this revolution. They forced their way into the palace. They proclaimed the Bahadur Shah Badshah as their leader. So now, henceforward, the revolution is going to spread throughout the nation. The emperor had no choice but to agree to their demand. He wrote letters to all the chiefs and rulers of the country to come forward. He asked them to form a confederacy of Indian states to fight the British. They have to form alliance, coalition, confederacy to fight against Britishers, and that's why he wrote the letters to many uh, kings of that time. This step of the emperor had great implications. Again, there can be a question in your mind. So already I have told you what was the importance of Bahadur Shah Zafar. He was an old person. So what he will do? But politically he had importance. How, let's say? It is important to remember that the Mughal dynasty had ruled over a very large part of the country for a long period, and most of the smaller rulers and chieftains had been ruling over their territories on behalf of the Mughal ruler. So they hoped that if the Mughal ruler could once again resume power, they would also be able to rule their own territories once again. The British had initially taken the revolt at Meerut quite lightly, but the decision by Bahadur Shah Zafar to support the rebellion had dramatically changed the entire situation. People were emboldened by an alternative possibility because earlier people were just looking at it as a mutiny of sepoys and it will be crushed by the Britishers. But when Bahadur Shah Zafar entered into this rebellion, then the people started looking at it more positively, and the Britishers also were taking very lightly to this. But when Bahadur Shah Zafar wrote the letters to the leaders and they started joining him, this rebellion was swelling. The spread of the rebellion. Okay, so this spread of the rebellion, and I hope it will be the last part of a lesson we will see in our next lecture. Till then, I have one homework for you, and that is you have to find out which kings and which kingdoms of India were means they participated in this revolution. You just have to find out who were the leaders, which were the kingdoms, and what were the reason behind their participation. Because in political arena, nobody takes any decision without any profit or without any loss, past loss. So when this participate in this movement, what was the reason behind it? Please find out and tell me in my next lecture. Till then, thank you so much. Have a nice day.